I never wanted children. I always felt that it was difficult enough being a human being. Why would I inflict that on someone else? I believe in reincarnation. Well, it's beyond belief because I know I've been here before. When I was a child, I realized I was back again and it was disappointing. Even though my family were brilliant, it was hard work. Whoever you are, psychologically, physically, it's hard work being a human being. It upset my mum when I said I regretted coming back. I think she took it personally. I don't have too many memories of previous lives, but I think I was in the First World War the last time around. It's a bit trite, but I do remember being panic-stricken about being in a trench. Whenever my mother would put the vacuum cleaner on, I used to run away. When planes were flying overhead, I'd hide under a rug. Maybe I was just a child who didn't like noise, but I'm pretty sure it was because I'd been in a wartime situation. The one thing I wanted to be when I was a teenager was either a lead guitarist in a pop group or a DJ. I first picked up a guitar in 1963, and I ought to be beyond Eric Clapton by now, but I'm hopeless really. One of the reasons was that I thought I'd get the girls. I was part of that generation of the late 60s that assumed that women were less inclined to get married and have children early, and so I thought there'd be at least a space where we could have some fun. It didn't quite happen that way. Either the women weren't there, or they were there but they didn't want me. I think I might put on my gravestone: the thing I wanted most could have led to the thing I wanted least. Sex is a dangerous business for me. Because, in capital letters as big as you like, I don't want children. But there's a danger of you being sucked into that sort of milieu of babies and families and goodness knows what. I shudder sometimes. That would have been the worst thing that could have happened to me. When I was about 23, I was in a relationship that might have produced children. We split up. For some reason, my girlfriend started to pay a lot of attention to other people's kids. I thought we'd established that neither of us wanted children. It all went south and I ended up on my own in a new town and a new job and a new life, and I had to start from the bottom again. This was the end of 1973, beginning of 1974, the Yom Kippur War, petrol suppliers being cut off, the 3-day weeks, and then the economy just went into a slump. That coincided with me trying to find my way in the working world. When I think about it now, I don't know how I survived really. But in a way it's the best thing that's ever happened because I had to start again and I didn't really have any pressure. I read somewhere that it costs £250,000 to raise a child to the age of 18. Now where's my £250,000? I've had 3 different careers. I hated the first one, the second one was a lot better, and the third was quite stimulating. But I don't know there's a legacy to leave. I've just got on with my life, went to work, came home and had me tea, you know? I think I ought to feel inadequate, and I do sometimes. There is a pressure on men particularly to be something. I've dipped into all sorts of waters and not really ended up with one thing that I've devoted myself to. Being marriage-free has been fundamental to me being child-free. It's so important that I've stayed on my own, and therefore I've never had to have that conversation of shall we have children or not. I had a life that didn't involve children, and I've had an interesting life really. I've rejoiced in being single. I think generally people think I'm odd, but it's possible they are envious that I've given it a go. It's not that I've spent my entire life without any sort of relationships. I had a lovely lady friend for years and years, and she died a couple of Christmases ago. It was really sad. She'd had blood cancer and she was really stoic and amazing. We were really good friends, but I was always holding back. I think she would have got married early doors and I was holding back really. So that is a regret I've had. I probably upset her by being possibly a bit standoffish. I was presented with the possibility of settling down and I didn't want it. I've often said to people, a long weekend with anybody is probably a bit too long for me now, because I've been independent for so long. My brother didn't have any children either. He was quite a good role model for me. He wanted to go traveling, so he went traveling and he worked overseas and it was great. Whoever goes first, the one who's left, the herd dynasty finishes with us. I don't care a toss. Who am I, who are you, to feel so important that people need to remember us? I just don't think I am important enough of a person to want to inflict all this onto somebody else. By having a child, the DNA is partially mine, and I don't know whether it's fair to inflict my genes on other people. I wouldn't want anybody who looked like me and behaved like me because it was bad enough being me. Why would I want to do that? One of the things I wanted to find out was who I was, who I am, and not many people actually ask themselves that question. Latterly, I'm a member of the University of the Third Age for people over 60. I'm a member of various singing groups and music groups with some amazing musicians, and it's a joy to be part of that and to hear their stories. What I'm finding with my contemporaries is that even if they've been married, maybe their spouse has died or they've had enough of each other anyway. So they're reappearing now and getting a second childhood. One of the things that's helped me is technology, which can help you feel like you're part of a community. So when I heard Zoe talking on the radio, I immediately Googled, "We are Childfree," and joined up as soon as I can. I've learned from the group that it's fundamentally different for a man not to have children. In a lot of ways it's been easier for me. And that there's a difference between being child-free and childless. But I really hope that the people who discover they can't have children can rejoice and celebrate that they can have a life of their own, you know? Back in the mid-70s, I did yoga classes, and that was one of the best things I ever did. There's a spiritual side to it, and it confirmed my belief in reincarnation. I've been able to do is investigate life after death. I'm really quite morbid, but I'm prepared to face my own death. When I'm gone, I'm just going home back to where I came from. I'm in the wrong place really. It's been hard work and I've been fighting against lots of negativity. So although I believe in reincarnation, I don't want to come back. I want to stay there.